Hey everyone, welcome to Hanoi with RAKStar. Happy to be here once again, like every Friday with you all and with Jose Marcelino. Jose, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's Friday. It's getting close to Christmas now. We are
Hmm.
all thinking about our shopping and everything else. But we have a great session today, actually. So yeah, with AWS. So changing a little bit of topic, not Helium today, called Helium Plan, but also about
Exactly.
LoRaWAN, which is great.
Exactly. It's a pretty interesting topic that we're going to be discussing today. As well, we have an awesome guest who have been driving the development of this technology in the AWSI. So we're going to get deeper into the conversation with him. Just for those who are joining for the first time, a warm welcome to you all. Happy to have new members joining to our community every Friday. Just a quick summary before I start. This is just a community-friendly space where we chat with passionate rockstars and talk about their hacks, their cool projects, and the things they are currently doing for the IoT ecosystem. So, as Jose just shared, and me as well, in today's session, we're going to be chatting with the specialist solution architect for Internet of Things of Amazon Web Services, someone who, with more than 12 years of experience in IoT and smart cities, who advise and help customers to accelerate their IoT implementations. Ali, welcome to the stage.
Hi everyone, thank you for
Hello,
having
Ali.
me.
It's great
Hey,
to have
have
a LoRaWAN pioneer on the show as well. Like
completely.
one of the first.
Completely. Thanks for accepting our invitation. It is an honor to have you here, and also happy to be chatting with you today, and also see the demo that you have prepared for us. Super excited about that.
The live demo,
Yes,
Cool.
yes.
Yeah, live
a
demo.
live demo, so hopefully it will work.
We have to make sure to pray the demo live gods before it starts. So
Yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, in addition to this a small introduction, I would like to highlight that if you are here during the live session, feel free to ask any question you may have on the comment section. I will keep an eye on the chat every time that a question pop ups, and if it's appropriate, we can jump on that question over the conversation. Or if not, we are going to leave it by the end of the session where we have a specific space for Q&A sessions. So yeah, let's just start breaking the ice with some personal questions. As I just shared, you are a tech-driven person with many years of experience in development and research, as well as project management, with main focus on technical as well as business projects. And
Mhm.
a cool thing about like your background is that you do all of this in an agile, in a very creative way, which is pretty interesting to me. And this all of this allows you to work in different verticals and industry in this big ecosystem of IoT. So this is just like a one piece of the pie about all the cool things that you have done. So let's go and get a little bit better, so you can share a little bit more about yourself, your background, education, and also how do you get into this world of IoT ecosystem.
Yeah, so my name is Ali, and I am a specialist solution architect for IoT and smart cities at Amazon Web Services. And basically, I help all public sector customers to uh, implement and operate efficient and scalable IoT and smart city solution in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And I've been, like you said, working on IoT and smart cities over the last 12 years. In terms of education, I hold a Master of Science degree in wireless communication from the University of Lille, my hometown in France. And I worked around in the beginning in my career around 10 years in research and development institute in France and in Belgium. So I built a deep technical expertise on these IoT topics. But however, I have a keen interest on the business and strategy aspects as well. So early in my career, I tried to develop this, first starting with an advanced master degree in innovative project development in 2011, already 10 years ago, actually, and by doing an executive MBA in 2018. So from the
Wow.
beginning of my career, I've been working on IoT. But the very funny story is how I end up at Amazon Web Services, because actually it's not related to IoT, but more related to my MBA because I was doing my MBA and we had business trip to do. So basically, you travel to a place and you visit an ecosystem of companies. And one of these business trips was in Seattle, and we visited companies like Boeing, Microsoft, and Amazon, especially AWS. And when they presented AWS, I felt very aligned with the leadership principles and the culture during the visit. And so I decided to choose AWS for the business report because I had to write the business report, the business analysis of the company. And so after diving deep on the business aspect, I decided to apply and I passed the solution architect certifications, and then I applied. So that's how I actually decided to apply to AWS. And besides my job at AWS, I also have some activities. I publish on a tech blog named Frugal Prototype, which I founded in 2015 to share about innovation, tech, tutorials. So it's frugalprototype.com, but this is written in French. And I also founded a nonprofit organization in 2016 named Citizen Clan with the aim to empower citizens to innovate and experiment on their territory. So that's the smart city side of my background as well.
Wow, impressive. Very good. And were you one of the pioneers for LoRaWAN at AWS? Because it is a new area there, right?
Yeah, so I joined AWS almost 3 years ago, but I've been working on LoRaWAN for almost more than 6 years now. So I started to build for customers private LoRaWAN network. It was very early stage then. So my first LoRaWAN network was only supporting activation by personalization. So I was only able to support that. And then I studied more on the specification, and I did over the activation over time. And that's how actually I started with LoRaWAN.
Amazing. Great stuff.
Amazing. So like during like your like years of experience, you have the opportunity to advise like different kind of projects, like either on the public sector and private sector, like from startups to enterprise companies as well as individuals, since you have this tech blog and also this organization that you create in order to help these citizens in order to innovate with the technology. However, at this moment, as you just shared, you have a strong emphasis working with AWS in the public sector projects. So
yeah.
Can you share the needs that you have found when develop a project for the public sector, as well as a brief about the main industries that are currently being implemented IoT projects in this specific sector?
Okay, so the main need, IoT calls for multiple and broad skills, right? Electronics, embedded computing, physics, communication protocols, computer science in general. So the need, which is the case for all industries actually, is education. So that's the first need I see, training, guidance. So thanks again for having me today, because I think this is the kind of thing I should do more, share with the community what I learn, how I do things. And for public sector, I would say it is more complex even, because most of the time they have to handle a complex, sometimes technologies, but also multiple operating models, multiple partners, multiple technologies, and they need to make all these things work together. It is more complex than having a product, for example, to develop, in which you can control all the chain from the device to the application. In their case, they need to kind of orchestrate different solutions together. So that's what I see in terms of complexity with a public sector. And also a specific thing with public sector is in terms of return of investment, which called ROIs. So this is more complex to measure, because the return here is not only money, it is also how you improve the life of your residents. If you're a policymaker, for example, this is how you decrease the average commute time in public transport, how you provide a better service. So for sure, the efficiency is important as well, but it is less obvious to measure. And so I talked about public sector, but you find these IoT needs and this IoT application in any industry, whether it is in industry, actually the manufacturing domain, whether it is in energy, cities, small cities, territories, like I said, You find also smart home, all the connected projects for all the what we call consumer products. I would say when you can put a smart before a word, you might use IoT actually. So everything that is smart is IoT most of the time, or IoT related.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, lots of applications out there that need it.
Yeah.
Completely. And like, what is like the any bigger challenge you have faced advising these companies that you would like to share with us today?
Yeah, it comes to, I mean, it's related to what I just said about the complexity, right? So what I would suggest when starting an IoT project is first to focus on what you want to achieve and try to build and what we call also an MLP, not a minimum viable product, but the minimum lovable product. So you try to build something that your users or your customers will love, actually, even if it's limited functionalities, but try to focus on this. Try to use all the prototyping tools, all the prototyping devices that that now are available in the market, which is much better than 5 years or even 10 years ago. So now you can find lots of different devices to prototype, to test, to look at first the feasibility of the project, and then develop the functionality that are very important for your users first, and then iterate over time. Always, of course, looking at the security first, but then trying to be agile.
Completely. In some way, like all the tools that like you have, like that AWS offers, it is a mix to provide all the things that you have been just sharing. Just if we set apart the hardware side, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so AWS IoT services are designed to help you build and operate for scale. So we provide a collection of IoT services that help you connect your devices and operate them at the edge. So, for example, FreeTOS for real-time operating system for microcontroller-based devices. And actually, we are also going to explore one of these services in the demo, which is AWS IoT Greengrass. So I won't tell more about Greengrass because I will explain later. Then you have services to help you secure, control, and manage your devices from the cloud. And finally, services to extract the value from the data you collect. So that's how we designed our collection of services, from the device to the application, and everything designed for scale.
Awesome.
Yeah, because in LoRaWAN you find a lot of like hobbyist level great hardware and software, but you don't have the commercial, the secure, all the solutions, which is where AWS comes in, right? That's a big part of it. It was something lacking in the LoRaWAN ecosystem, basically, I think. Right.
Yeah, I will say a few words about AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN, but this is basically what we wanted to offer to our customers, a way to focus on the application, focus on what they want to do, focus on their services, and take care of all the maintenance, operating, building also for example, the LoRa network server. So this is something that is complex. If you want to do everything yourself, you need to maintain the server. You need to pay also for idle, because when you don't use it, you still pay the server running or so it comes with a cost. And we wanted to make our customers to focus on what is very important for them, and not on the operational thing that doesn't bring any value for their services.
Yeah, it's fun like to tweak all the buttons and so on, but it's when you're operating big networks, you don't want to be doing that all day, for sure.
Yeah, monitoring a network, onboarding gateways, that's something that is complex. And so
even more when we're talking in a scale level. And which are like the main clients that you can find out in the AWS services?
So we worked with clients from like I said, all the industries I mentioned previously. I focus mainly on public sector, so I work with many customers, many territories building their own private LoRaWAN network, for example. So this is a trend that we see. And actually, I just did a video with a city of Drancy, which is a suburb of Paris. So it is available on YouTube. You can look at AWS Drancy Smart City. You will find, and this is a great example because this city, so the CIO of this city was able to build a private LoRaWAN network in half a day. And now they have multiple use cases. They have air quality monitoring indoor to monitor the quality for in schools for children, so they can actually help reduce the spread of COVID-19. They can also improve the efficiency of their buildings. If there is, for example, a window that is open, they can act faster than without any data or any measures collected. They have also parking applications, so they measure the parking space availability for parking spot for people with reduced mobility. So they have LoRaWAN parking lot sensors, and they know in real time when the parking spots are available or not. And they can also, that's also the good side of the application, is that they can also make sure that people that park in these parking spot are parking here for the good reason, right? So they don't want that people take the spot without having the right to take this spot. So the police around, they know in real time when a parking spot is taken, and they can check and verify that people who park there, or the car who are which are parking there, are actually allowed to park. So and over time they're gonna add lots of different use cases with the same network, and that's what is also it's impressive also for me to see the pace of innovation from these territories. So I love working with these kind of customers.
Amazing. And I wonder how many gateways are deployed right there?
So for now, I think they have around 5 gateways that cover most of their use cases, because that's outdoor gateways, so they can cover around 2 kilometers, I would say a mile to talk to everyone in the world. So a mile, or around 2.5 kilometers. But it depends where they are deployed, of course. And they have also, so for now, they have 2 use cases. One for parking spot, like I said, so smart parking and air quality indoor, but they can add over time new gateways and new sensors depending what they want to do. And they actually leverage AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN, so they don't need to pay per gateway. They only pay per number of messages they exchange with the service.
Yes,
Awesome.
it's a lot simpler than like a cellular solution, definitely, right? It's compared to setting up base stations and contacting different operators, getting SIM cards and all sorts, as well as keeping the low power nature of. Like if you have a parking sensor, for example, you want it to be small, you want it to be easy to install, you don't want to run power. So LoRaWAN is a good choice there, right?
Yeah.
So,
and to run on battery as well. So that's the main benefits of LoRaWAN, is the low power part of it. So you can put sensors outdoor, and if you don't send messages too often, they can last for years, 5, 6, 7 years without changing
and
the
also
battery.
if they have a solar panel, they can be autonomous as well.
it can be last forever.
They can be
basically.
autonomous.
Exactly. Awesome. And I am wondering about, like, what are your general thoughts about RAK, and how did you hear from us?
What I think about RAK, I guess it's positive. Otherwise, I would not be here with you.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
No, joke aside, when we released AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN, I think a year ago, I was looking for a cost-effective gateway that provides flexibility and ease of use. And so I started to look at what was available on the market, and I found the RAK 7246 that I can show you here.
Okay. Yeah.
So I found
the
this
cheap model.
gateway. Yeah, the cheap one, and that's the one actually I used to do the getting started
Wow.
with AWS IoT Core video, AWS IoT Core follow-on video. So you can find this video on YouTube. I don't know, Mario, if you can share the link
Yeah, for sure.
in the chat.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's how I started to look at RAKwireless, and then I used other products like this button, like the RAK 7244 that I will use for the demo actually. So that's how I heard about you.
Awesome. And
Okay.
have you ever had the experience of tinkering with the Whistlock or not?
With the
With the Whistlock, our newest development board.
On the
No, this is
devices,
one,
the
this
yeah.
Whisk
button?
button. Yeah,
The
the
Okay.
the
Whisk,
development kit.
the development
Yeah.
kit.
Not yet.
Okay,
Send
we
me
need
one
to
then.
take care about that.
Send me one.
For sure, for sure. We are going to take care of that completely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
you need to try it out based more on your background and that you are currently like innovating, since it's a hardware that a development hardware that allows you to quickly validate and prototype different kind of applications. Doesn't matter the industry, because it is fully modular as well as it is an industrial grade. So it is like playing with Lego. You can just click
Mm.
and connect some sensors in a baseboard, change the different cores based on the technology that you need. If you require LoRaWAN or BLE or Wi-Fi, or if you need some industrial communication such as 48 to 20 milliamperes or 0 to 5 volts, or just expands the capability of your core, you can do it. I'm going to take care of that. You need to try it for sure.
Yeah, I think that's an example of the great tools that are available now to prototype, to test an idea, to start actually building a service, and then look at how you industrialize this solution. But that's exactly what I thought when I mentioned this how to get started with IoT.
Completely, completely.
Yeah. And just to
I'm
mention, we also
possibly.
use AWS services like our commercial gateways. I don't know if you've had a chance to experiment with them yet, but they are.
Not yet, but I've got one,
You've
but
got
not
one.
yet.
Good.
I've got an outdoor gateway, and I need to test it. And actually,
Okay. So
I will
the WISDM system,
soon.
which is the management system we use, runs on
Mhm.
AWS IoT, so it's all powered by that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Good to know
great.
that.
So yeah,
Good
it's
to know.
good to know. Good collaboration there.
Yeah, good collaboration.
And
We are working
are you
closely
happy so far? Are you happy so far with the
Yeah. We're big
services?
fans of.
Okay.
We are big fans of AWS, and we are. I mean, I don't know if you should mention, but all the Helium gateways will also be monitored through AWS. Just
Okay.
which will be a big volume project as well.
Mhm.
So we
Okay.
definitely trust
That's great.
the service is very, very easy to use, like you say.
Completely.
Happy to hear that.
And before like jumping into our demo space that we have prepared, is there like any particular project, either like from a customer or community member or internal project at AWS, that you would like to highlight that is being powered by AWS and RAKwireless? And clearly, like we understand if you cannot share this for confidentiality concerns. However, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to ask.
I can share the use case, not the name of the customer.
Okay, go ahead.
But I work actually with a public sector customer, so an organization in South Africa that has deployed hand sanitizer, LoRaWAN connected hand sanitizer. So in their public building, they can monitor the level of the gel. So the gel dispensers, and they to prototype it, we used actually the RAK wireless gateways. So the blue one for now, and we might use this one as well. So, and I will explain why I love this one. But so that's the use case. So that's a use case we we actually working on with a customer. So that's a real one. It's working right now. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
That's an
Glad
example.
to hear that. Thanks for sharing that with us. And yeah, I think we can jump on the demo that you have prepared.
Okay. I have some slides
Just
as
share the
well. So
screen.
let me share my
Go ahead.
screen. Okay, which one? Okay, that's the one.
Here we are.
Okay. Can you see? Okay. This. So actually, I have 6 gateways on my
Wow.
desktop. These ones I can't show you all of them, but you need to trust me.
I don't have 6 hands to show that.
Yeah, not yet. But the idea is I will show you how you can connect these 6 gateways in a click, I would say. So I will first start with how we connect one gateway to AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN, basically doing the same thing that I do in the video getting started with AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN that you can find on YouTube, but doing it in real time. And then I will show you how you can automate these parts using AWS IoT Greengrass, and how actually you can leverage other capabilities, other features of AWS IoT Greengrass to, for example, gain access to your gateways, even if they are deployed in the field behind firewalls. So let's get started. So that's my gateway here. So I just prepared. If I can find my mouse. Okay, I lost my. Okay, it's there. Okay, so I just need to get the gateway EUI. That's it. So I can onboard. So we are now in the AWS IoT on the AWS IoT console. I will maybe zoom a little bit so you can hear, and you just need to click on Add Gateway. So that's the gateway EUI. So I just need to enter it. The frequency band. So I'm right now in France. I use EU 868 megahertz. So 868 megahertz frequency band. And let's do this to name the gateway. And that's it. I can just add the gateway. And now I have the certificates. So these gateways use basic station. I think it was having some explanation about what I'm going to do. So basically, these gateways are running a basic station to connect to AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN. So basic station is an open source software that allows you to connect your gateway to AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN. So you can find the link here. And so I need to configure LoRa Basic Station with the credential to securely connect. So I have certificates. So everything is explained actually in the video, in the YouTube video. So no worries if you don't know what is LoRa Basic Station, you can just watch the video. So that's the certificate of my gateway that I open here. Actually, if you look at this, so that's the certificate of my gateway. No. So I need to create a file called cups, because I will use what is called the cup server that will actually provision for me all the credentials to use the LNS server to send the LoRa messages to the LNS.
Okay.
So again, this is explained in the getting started video. So the certificate if cups.crt. So I just copy the certificate. I do the same for the private key. So my gateway has a certificate and a private key. So the private key will be cups.key. Okay. I need to copy the endpoint of the cup server that the LoRa Basic Station software will actually send the request to. So that's done in the cups.key URI file. That's it. And the last file is the certificate of the server itself, of the CUP server, because it's a mutual authentication. So I just need to copy this, the content in cups.trust. And if I did not do any mistake, I should have all the files to connect to my gateway, which are cups.crt, cups.trust, cups.key, cups.uri. And we will use the station binary executable that you can compile, so you can find this LoRa basic station binaries on GitHub, and I mean the source on GitHub, and you can compile it for your gateway. There is also the station.conf configuration file that basically provide the configuration for your gateway.
Okay.
So you see
just
here,
one question.
so basically,
so on the Raspberry Pi, you're running just the Raspberry Pi OS? Is that what you're running right now, or is it?
Yeah, actually, I just installed a Raspbian Lite OS,
Raspbian Lite.
and that's it.
Okay.
And I enabled the SPI, so that's the only thing I did before doing this demo. So nothing
as well
magic.
as the
And I
SSH communication.
Yeah, so I'm connecting to the gateway using SSH. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. I have all the file needed, and now I can launch the station file, and it should actually work. So let's go and choose the role to allow the CUP server, and so that's the gateway. And now I should be able to connect to this gateway. So we'll see. So you see, so now the gateway is connected. If I refresh again, you should see the gateway with the last uplink received here. Okay, so that's connected. The gateway is connected, and I have actually created a device. So the button that is here, so we can actually also test the connection. So let's test the connection quickly. Let's go to.
Okay, so you don't need to run any LoRa network server. It's already doing it for you.
No, actually, it's a fully managed LoRaWAN network server, and you can. It's a LoRa network server, a joint server, an application server, everything within AWS IoT Core 4.1, and everything fully managed. So you only pay per the messages you send. And now I'm gonna click on the button. I clicked on 2 buttons actually. Oh, I need to join again. Okay, so now, okay, you see? So that's the message I received from the button, and I created a kind of payload decoder. And so now when I press key 2, it's B, key 2 is B. If I press key 1, you should see another message coming, A. So if it's 3, you should see C, and the 4, D. So that's how to onboard one gateway, right? So now let's move to the next part, how to do it at scale. So we are going to use AWS IoT Greengrass, and AWS IoT Greengrass in its version 2 is an open source IoT edge runtime that helps you build, deploy, and manage IoT applications on your devices. So you can use AWS IoT Greengrass to build software that enables your devices to act locally on the data they generate. So you can filter, you can aggregate data, you can run predictions based on machine learning models, so everything locally. So with Greengrass, you can, like I said, do local executions of Lambda functions or Docker containers or native OS processes, or even custom runtimes of your choice. And with AWS IoT Greengrass, we provide AWS IoT Greengrass actually provides pre-built software modules called components. So that's the component that let you easily extend the capabilities of your application, of the functionality of your device. So a Greengrass component is a software module that is deployed and run on a Greengrass core device. So all software that is developed and deployed with AWS IoT Greengrass is modeled as a component. And we provide pre-built public component that provide features and functionality that you can use in your application. And I will give you an example of one that I will use to do SSH to my gateways, even if the gateway is behind the firewall. So I will create a tunnel using AWS IoT Secure Tunneling, and the gateway will have a component running the secure tunneling also on the gateway side. And the only mandatory component that you need to run AWS IoT Core, AWS IoT Greengrass is the Nucleus component. So it provides kind of the minimum functionality of the Greengrass core software. And you can develop also your own component. So that's what is important here. So you can develop your own component, and you can use the Greengrass service to deploy it to a single or multiple core devices. So you have this group management. So you can have a group of devices, thousands of devices. In our case, you could have a group of thousands of gateways, and you could deploy this component to your thousands of gateways. And so a component is composed of what is called a recipe and artifacts. So the recipe is a JSON or YAML file that specifies the component metadata, its configuration parameters, its dependencies, and platform compatibility. And the artifacts are the component binaries. So it can be scripts, compiled code, static resources, and any other files that a component consumes. So in the demo, I'm going to show you how to deploy a component that actually will deploy a group of LoRaWAN gateways, configure them, provision, and connect them to AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN. So if you can share the link to the component, if you want to use it with gateways, this is available on AWS sample. If you look at using AWS IoT Greengrass to provision and connect your LoRaWAN gateways at scale, you can find it on AWS sample. So that's this component that I will use. So I have already created. So if you go on the Greengrass console, components, you see my component. This is the component I have created. So this component will deploy the binary, the configuration file, so the binary of LoRa basic station, the configuration file. It will create the certificate, store the certificate and the keys, and connect to the message for LoRaWAN. So that's what this component do. So I can choose to deploy this component to a group of gateways. You see, I have a group of gateways. So that's my gateways that I can show you here. So I have 5 gateways running Greengrass core. So the gateway I use to show you how to connect is not yet connected to Greengrass. I will do it in a second step. So for now, I have 5 gateways that run AWS IoT Greengrass. So I will deploy this component to these 5 gateways. So the only thing I need to do is to deploy the component, choose this RAKStar gateway deployment, and that's it. I will click on deploy. So you can configure the way you want to deploy your component, and then click on deploy. And the target is the RAKStars gateways. And if I click on it, it's a group of devices. And if I look at all the devices, I can find the 5 devices. So that's how it works. And I have deployed this component, but in the same deployment, if I look at the deployment again, Greengrass deployment, you see all the components that are deployed in this gateways, right? So you have a CLI, this component that deploy the LoRaWAN part, and I have also deployed another component, which is a public component called secure channeling. That's the one I was mentioning that allows you also to create a channel and to SSH to a gateway. I can give you an example. So I just need to open a channel here, and I will. So it will be SSH. I want to SSH. I will choose one of these gateways as a target for. Let's take the this one. Yeah, and I will create a channel. And if everything works, so I need to download the source token because I will need it to connect my source, which is my local machine, to the gateway, which is the destination in that case. So I need the token here. I'm done. I can check that the destination is connected. It means that my gateway received the token and is connected to the tunnel. So now I need to connect a source to gain access, and I have built a tool that allows you to do it from a web application. And actually, again, this tool, you can find it on AWS samples if you want to do the same, if you want to have access to all your gateways deployed in the field, of all your, you could have thousands of gateways, and if you need to troubleshoot them, you can quickly SSH directly to this gateway. So the only thing I need to do is to copy the token that is here. Here, it's my token. So I need to connect to choose the region. So I'm in the EU West one, and click on connect. And now I can connect. So it's P. And you see I have access to my gateway, and I can actually look at what's happening with my Greengrass deployment. So I will have to look at the log of my component and see that actually it's up and running. So if I look at my now gateways, I should see more than one gateway if everything works. You see, all the gateways are now registered with the component. So now I will actually do the same for this one. So I will delete this this one. Yes, this one. I will stop this and I will delete this gateway to show you actually how then once you have, because I deployed 2 existing gateways, but let's say now I have this scenario in which I want to add a new gateway, right, to an existing group. So the only thing I need to do is actually go to this, set up one core device, and I will call it RAK72 dash. I need the gateway UI. I will put this gateway in an existing group, and actually at the moment this gateway will be in this group, the gateway will receive all the deployment because the group is the target of this deployment. So if you add a new gateway to this group, automatically you don't have anything to do. The gateway will receive the deployment, and so all the components will be part of this group. So now I just need to put this. Let me see if it works. I don't know if I put if I added the credential. I think I did. We'll see. Okay, and now I just need to copy the second command, in which you see there is the region, there is the thing name, and the group. So nothing. And if I added the credential, it should work. So now it's going to take, of course, a few minutes, but if everything works, this gateway should be automatically provisioned. So basically, you would have a new gateway to deploy on the field, adding to your existing gateways. The only thing you would need to do is to install Greengrass and put this device in an existing group in which you have already the target. So in a few minutes, this need to refresh. In a few minutes, you would see this new gateway. Actually, it's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's already there. Let me check. Okay. I can check the deployment now. Greengrass log. Okay, so now you see that the component, my component Benfattoum.basic also is deployed, so I can check the log and see if it works. Okay, so now it installed all the package needed. So all the installation steps. So you can install, for example, it installs Python 3, it installs some libraries, and then it will launch the script. So you can basically automate a lot of things in the gateway, and just wait to your gateway to be provisioned for you.
Okay.
So that's basically the demo.
And I might be getting ahead, but so if you need to update the component later, like basic station updates, for example, would it be automatic as well? Or?
Yeah, so you go to your component, you update your component, so you create a new version of your component. So you see, and if you create a new version, you have here the recipe, the link to the artifact that is stored on S3. So everything, all the steps are explained in this repo, GitHub repo. So it explained how you actually put the artifacts in S3, all the commands you need to do. And so basically, when you want to update your component, you just need to update your artifact on S3, a new version of Basic Station, for example, and then you create a new version, let's say version 1.0.1, and you deploy this new version, and you deploy it to your group of gateways. You could even have this strategy of rolling out first to a test group, see if everything works, and having another group that is your production group, and then you deploy this component to your production group. So you have this, I mean, it's device management. So you have these capabilities to manage devices based on groups, based on customers, based on geolocation. So everything that you can do with the things group within AWS IoT Core, AWS IoT device management, you can do it here as well.
Okay. But it doesn't update the host OS, right? So you're still running on Raspbian Lite there, or did I get it wrong?
Here, yes, but I mean, if your operating system is compatible with Greengrass, everything that I demonstrated here now, everything I showed actually should work because it's running on Greengrass. So you can adapt your script to the target platform.
Okay.
So and you see now the LoRa Basic Station runs. So again, if I click on the button, you should see the message here, MHGR80. It means that it's an uplink message, and you see the dev address. And if you go to the gateways again, you see the 6 gateways are now provisioned. So I don't have 10, otherwise you would have 10 gateways. But to give you just an example, we had last week at reInvent. So we have this event every year, which is AWS reInvent, and I delivered a workshop with participants. We connected 50 gateways, these exact gateways actually, and they used this script to connect the gateway. They use the AWS IoT Core for their own. And at the end, there was this exact same demo, but this time with 50 gateways. So,
Amazing.
I mean, you could deploy it to, like say, the group of 10 or 50 gateways. That's the same. And if you want to remove the component, you just need to remove the component from the deployment. So you have this deployment here, and you have the flexibility to add over time capabilities to your devices. So if I want to add, let's say, another component, I just need to do revise. I want to revise the deployment. I can add other component if I want to do, I don't know, send to Kinesis Firehose, or I want to build the MQTT bridge. I want to do machine learning at the edge. So you can have gateways that are doing more than just LoRaWAN gateways, actually.
No, this is
That's it
amazing.
for the demo, and everything worked as expected. So I think the god of
Very
the demo,
impressed.
they heard
It works. It works.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. No, thanks, Ali, for bringing us this demo. In addition to this demo, we shared like a couple of links on the chat. We highly recommend you to check them out, where you can find like all the details about the things that Ali just shared in more like detail. If this is your first time working with LoRa and you need to understand some basics, something like, for example, what is basic stations, you are going to find out all the information right there. And also, I just share another link on the comment, which is the tutorial that you just the tutorial of the workshop that you made last week, right?
Yeah. So the workshop is the instructions are for gateways that we have kind of customized for the event, but I think you can follow the workshop with the same gateways without any issue.
Awesome.
Because
And there,
for the
go ahead, go ahead.
because for the workshop we built a tool that actually enabled the participants to connect to their gateways directly from the web browser just by entering the gateway EUI. So
Oh,
it was
nice.
very easy for them. They had just to put the gateway UI here, to click on connect, and they had access to
Okay.
SSH to the gateway. So it was very easy. But I mean, if you have your gateway at home, you can just SSH because if you are in the same network, everything is easy. But with 50 participants in a Wi-Fi that you don't control, everything can be actually more complex. So we decided to make it easier providing these tools. So in the instructions, at one moment, I described how to use this tool, but if you follow the workshop at home, you don't need to follow this part.
You just need to scan your local network, find the IP
Yeah,
address of
find the
your
IP.
gateway,
Yeah,
access, and that's it.
yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, we have a couple of questions over here. Sorry about this one, since I bring these questions. Let me click it. Hello, can you explain better how does the smart parking solution work, and what kind of sensor does it use, and what kind of data is being gathered?
Okay. Actually, the better way to
To explain that.
explain it is to look at the video, because it's explained by the customer itself. So that's the
Okay,
one. I will share it. So if you can
awesome.
share it on the chat. So
Perfect. Thanks.
but quickly to answer the question, the parking lot sensors, it's Bosch sensors. So it's LoRaWAN parking lot sensor that measure the availability. So you receive actually if the parking spot is busy or free. And then you can build some applications. The city of Johnsey, for example, they built iOS application to provide to their residents the information of availability for their parking space.
Awesome. Thanks for bringing that Also, we have this is more like a general one. Let's see how we can address that. Please talk about smart agri sensors and how many those farmers need.
Hmm. In terms of smart agri sensors, you can find now. I mean, the market is becoming more mature, so there are lots of sensors, whether it is for measuring the humidity, the temperature, the wind speed. So you can find them on the internet. And how many does a farmer needs? I can't answer this question. It depends on the farm. It depends on. I mean, it depends on what you want to measure. If it's wind speed, if it's temperature, humidity, it really depends on the use case itself. But I guess on a farm, having one or two gateway, you can cover. If it's not a big farm, you can cover most of it.
Completely agree on that. And that is the word that the people that don't like to hear, which is it depends.
Yeah, yes.
This,
We used to this answer because there is no easy
yeah, completely.
answer. So most of the time we always start with it depends. But at least I hope I still provided you some insight. But yeah, unfortunately it depends.
Completely. Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
fortunately, gateways are now very cheap, and you have AWS where you can scale without any problems. So just add more gateways if you
Yeah.
need, I guess.
So yeah, if you see that one gateway is not enough, just buy another one and
Just buy
connect
another
it,
one, add it,
and
and you don't pay any
Green,
extra. It's just
Greengrass.
pay the usage,
Yeah,
right? So it's
yeah,
perfect.
you just pay the usage, so you don't even pay the connectivity of the gateway. So you
Hmm.
only pay the messages you send to administrator
Perfect.
for. So you can look at the
Awesome.
pricing on IoT Core pricing to look at how much it costs per millions of messages.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you have if there's any tool that you use on the software side or either hardware to analyze the coverage, the LoRaWAN coverage on the field.
No, that's a good one. Actually, I don't use any tool, but there are some tools. There are some hardware tools and software tools to look at the coverage of an area. So it's more when you want to kind of plan a deployment that you use this kind of tool. But there are some tools available that allows you to cover uh, look at the coverage. But they are still the kind of uh, prototyping way of doing it. You buy a tracker and you move around and, and you look your the strength of the signal, and you can
Evaluate
look at
that. Yeah.
evaluate. But it's not accurate. But at least if you don't have all the tools needed, at least you can have a rough view of the coverage.
Completely. And just a question on my side, and this is for all of those who. It's a question that I'm going to make it, but it's to help all of those who are starting, for those IoT entrepreneurs who most of the time join this event. So your career path allowed to support like many companies to create innovative IoT projects. So do you have any particular technical or business advice for those IoT entrepreneurs who are just in their early stage of their projects? Like any tip and tricks that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, I think if I have one say advice or suggestion is to we talked earlier about the minimum lovable product and all this thing. Actually, we we are not the only one, but you can find services like AWS IoT Core 401 or and RAKwireless Gateway that allows you to prototype very, quickly. So you can build something very quick. So what I think is that you should try to build, like I said, the minimum kind of functionalities that you know that will trigger the interest of your customers or of your clients, and test it on the market. So not doing too much market studies over during 6 months or a year before actually testing it on the market. So you have the chance to build faster now. So it's a chance to, especially in the world of IoT. Before you had to kind of have a kind of card, your electronic card yourself, prototype small series before even being able to launch a product. Now you can launch products very quickly. The devices available are, I mean, there is a better choice than before. So yeah, I would say if you are an IoT startup, you can start leverage all the tools that can help you to prototype very quickly and test your idea on the market as soon as possible.
As soon as possible, completely. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for
With
those tips and
security,
tricks.
always.
With security always. For those tips and tricks and advice for our community. Not sure, Jose, if you want to add any additional question before closing up the session.
No, thank you very much for the demo. It's a great system. I will try it myself. I haven't actually had a chance, but I know it's very new, so yeah, definitely very good. And I love the security aspect. Everything is done with keys properly. Very highly secure system there. So yeah, thank you very much again for the demo.
Completely agree on that. And
Yeah, thank
Ali,
you.
thanks for joining us today, for bringing this demo, for sharing your experience with us. Happy to chat with you today, and we hope to keep collaborating in further projects with you and your team as well. And yeah, also to all of those who connect today, we have a really good average of connection today. That is a good point. People is liking the things that you are doing. And also for those who ask questions and stay during the entire session. So yeah, that's all for today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I hope you found it useful.
Definitely, I'm sure
For sure,
everyone has.
definitely.
Thank you.
Completely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, if someone is watching this video later, feel free to leave your questions on the comment section, and we'll be happy to address any question you may have later. We hope to see you next week as every Friday, and happy hacking, folks. Bye bye.
Bye.